ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् संदधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both speech and mind be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May you not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Peace, peace, peace be unto you all. Good morning. I think there is a sound, noise. Hello, I think it is okay. Actually, the problem is this speaker is not enough long that our guest speaker, they are comfortable to speak. Our guest speakers are so tall, so it is. And it is short actually, it is just for me, but so we have to change it, I could realize that. Anyway, this morning I am going to conclude the Ramayana episode because for weeks together I was describing the reflection on Ramayana. So this morning I shall conclude the Ramayana episode, the whole episode of Ramayana, to give you some idea about the, still it is, hello, just keep me. Hello, hello. I think it is better. Okay, so to give you the idea, of the Ramayana, I just narrate you a few things on Ramayana. I have already explained it. You have already some idea about Ramayana, especially the Valmiki Ramayana. You know, the Valmiki Ramayana is the original Ramayana, but other local regional Ramayanas are also there. From our guest lecture, we heard the Ramayana of Tulsidas, that is the Ramcharitmanasa, that is also the regional Ramayana. It is the regional Ramayana from Bihar and the northern part and of India, and some of the middle part of India. So that's one Ramayana. And southern part, there are different types of Ramayanas also. So it is said the battle between Ram and Ravana is the battle between the Aryans and Assyrians. But I talked with the speaker, Ludgendorff, but he is not ready to accept this concept. So it varies from scholars to scholars. I did not have this conversation with Professor Goldman, but yes, I can ask anytime this kind of thing, but it looks like few scholars are not. He told me that it is a kind of British concept, that the battle between Rama and Ravana is the battle between the Aryans and Assyrians, but Swami Vivekananda endorsed that concept. Swami Vivekananda endorsed that concept. Yes. We know among innumerable regional Ramayanas, Valmiki Ramayana is the major and the basic source of all other available Ramayanas. Obviously, due to different regional beliefs, traditions, poetic influences, and rituals, all other Ramayanas differ from Valmiki Ramayana. I shall try to concentrate my discussion on Valmiki Ramayana. Other than Valmiki Ramayanas, there are Krittivasa Ramayana in Bengal, Tulsidas Ramayana in northern side, which is called Ramcharitmanasa, and in south, the Palghat Ramayana, so on and so forth. The southern part is called the Palghat Ramayana and all others. One of the important characteristics of Ramayana is pathos. The story of Ramayana elicits a kind of feelings and emotions of separation in the minds of readers just before the happenings of something happy and joyful. It reminds us of the very beginning of the Ramayana. Valmiki in Valmiki Ramayana was not robber, Ratnakar, who transformed into Valmiki. Valmiki in Valmiki Ramayana was an ascetic, pious sage lived by the river of Tamasa. One day, after taking dips in the clear water of Tamasa, Valmiki, in an ecstatic mood, saw a pair of cranes in the forest moving about closely and never parting from one another, making charming noise. Suddenly he saw a hunter called Nishada struck the male crane with his arrow, resulted the dying bird tossing about on the ground with its limbs smeared all over with blood. the female bird naturally gave out a piteous wail for parting from her mate and companion. On seeing the bird struck down by the arrow, pity was aroused in the heart of Valmiki, and a curse came out from his mouth spontaneously in a beautiful poetic couplet. And it says, "May you not have peace of mind of endless years, O fowler, since you killed one of the pair of cranes, infatuated with passion." Uttering this curse in the state of rage and anger, the sage reflected on his action and became extremely sorry for his sudden anger. But one important idea emerged from this whole episode, that Valmiki decided to compose Ramayana in the same format and couplet in which he uttered the curse that spontaneously came out from his mouth. Significantly, we find in Ramayana a kind of pathos of separation. Whenever there is something joyful, happy happenings was going on, was about to take place, immediately something came in between and despondently turned the situation into gloomy separation. Newly married Rama was about to be consecrated on the throne. At that point of time, he had to go to the exile in the forest for 14 years. After a terrific battle with Ravana, when Rama conquered Sita and the monkeys were about to celebrate the moment, suddenly Sita Devi was put into a test, and the vibe of connectedness turned into a vibe of separation. When Rama and Sita Devi returned to Ayodhya and the people there were ready to see Rama and Sita Devi on the throne, Sita Devi was again put into a test and they were separated. In this way, we find a kind of pathos pervading in all over the Valmiki Ramayana. In Valmiki Ramayana, Rama is projected as a perfect human being, not mysterious demigod. This is the next significant aspect of Valmiki Ramayana. One day, ascetic Valmiki asked Narada, the chief of hermit and mysterious divine traveler, full of wisdom, a mythological personality, who came to the hermitage while traveling, the following question. Number one, who can possibly be full of virtue in this world at present? Nay, who is possessed of pros and cons, what is right? Who is conscious of service done, truthful of speech and firm of resolve? Who possesses the right conduct and who is friendly to all living beings? Who is man of knowledge? Nay, who is powerful and who has a significantly lovable appearance? Who has subdued his self? Who has conquered anger? Who is possessed of splendor and who is above fault finding? And whom do the very gods dared when his worth has been apparently provoked in battle? I wish to hear this, for there is a great curiosity in my mind about it. While you are capable of knowing such a man? So the very question, number of questions asked, the good qualities about Ramachandra was asked by Valmiki to Narada, and ultimately he was not ready to listen to any kind of god or goddesses. His question was about a man. So in Ramayana, and in reply, Narada narrated the life of Rama. So actually, Rama in Valmiki Ramayana is a man, is a perfect human being, not projected as a god or some divine qualities, but the man is Superman, and his qualities also very close to the qualities of God and goddesses, but he is projected in Ramayana as a man. Whereas we find in Kirttivas Ramayana in Bengal, or in Ramcharitmanasa, the Tulsidas Ramayana, the Ram is depicted as a god and goddesses with innumerable divine qualities and miraculous glories. When Kirttivas in Bengal projected Ramachandra as God, Valmiki did not spare him from criticism. When Ramchandra killed Bali, the brother of Sugriva, another Hanumana, the brother of Sugriva, without noticing anything to Bali, because the Kshatriya, Ram was the Kshatriya, Ram was born in the clan of warrior. So it was a warrior family. So any warrior must not kill. At that time it was the rule that a warrior must not kill another warrior without alarming, without noticing him. In a hidden way from the backside, it was not legal or rule at that time. But Ramachandra killed Bali, hiding himself and without noticing Bali. They were fighting, Sugriva and Bali were fighting, and Ramachandra killed Bali by his arrow by hiding himself. It was not at that time a rule. The argument was given in different Ramayanas that what was the reason, but for common people it was not correct. However, this was we find in Ramayana, and Ramachandra killed Bali hiding himself, and then again and when Ramachandra used unparliamentary Assyrian languages in front of public, Valmiki did not but strongly criticized Rama. Valmiki vehemently reacted, and he said that pure and virgin Sita Devi could not forgive that male ridicule and that kind of male criticism and ridicule in front of everyone. Hence she entered fire. We see that Rama was criticizing Dasharatha when he saw Sita Devi, who never faced any hardship in her life, but at that point of time was facing hardship in the forest. So, although it was said that these passages or this portion might be incorporated afterwards, but we find in Valmiki Ramayana that this kind of criticism is there. So Ramachandra was not perfect human being, because he is criticizing his father at one point of time, although not for him, but for Sita Devi's suffering. Secondly, although he did not have any attraction, means a kind of love, obviously love was there, but he was not, very infatuated with Sita Devi. That's the point. So now next point is that he criticized or used some kind of unparliamentary languages in front of his people regarding Sita Devi, which Sita Devi could not bear. And it is written in Valmiki Ramayana that he could not bear that kind of criticism in front of the people, and she entered into the fire. So this kind of things are there in Valmiki Ramayana by criticizing Rama, but in Krittivasa Ramayana or in Tulsidas Ramayana, we never find this kind of thing. But afterwards it was said that these portions are incorporated afterwards. It was not in original Valmiki Ramayana, but we find it in Valmiki Ramayana. It shows that in Valmiki Ramayana, Ram was a human being and having some kind of defect, although it is not perfect, in him. Even though we find some shortcomings in Rama's character, but with all those, Rama is projected as the greatest ever man, Maryada Purushottama. So in Valmiki Ramayana we find Rama is called Maryada Purushottama. So Maryada means the propriety of conduct or honorable, and Purushottama means best among men, man of supreme qualities. So he is a man of supreme qualities and honorable, the propriety of conduct. So he is like that. But let us ask this question: why is Rama called Maryada Purushottama, the supreme among men and honorable, venerable, supreme among men? Why? Although he has few demerits, we find it. It is because, explained Swami Vivekananda, he said, Rama is the embodiment of truth, of morality, the ideal son, the ideal husband, and above all, the ideal king, an ideal father. So in a life, in human life, there are few phases. The son, so he was the ideal son. Then husband, he was the ideal husband. Then father, he was the ideal father. And lastly, he was the ideal king, the king of Ayodhya. So that is why he is the Maryada Purushottama. Let us explain how he would become the ideal son. We know most of the stories that he went to the exile for 14 years and he was ideal brother. Another very important thing, he was ideal brother also. So he 14 years to keep the promise of his father, leaving his throne, and his human characteristics is there because I have already mentioned that he criticized Dasaratha after going to the forest by seeing Sita Devi's critical situation. It came to his mind about his father. Then he was ideal brother. In two places we find he was the ideal brother. Being the older brother and the main character of Ramayana, Rama has always done responsibility and shown his brothers a lot of love and care. By birth, Lakshmana had a tremendous love for Rama. So they were four brothers. So surprisingly, they were a kind of pairs. Lakshmana was very much devoted to Rama, and Shatrughna was very much devoted to Bharata. But Rama was the central figure, and all they respected Rama. By birth, Lakshmana has a tremendous love for Rama. Similarly, Shatrughna had similar type of love for Bharata. But all younger brothers loved and respected Rama. We can see it in the conversation between Bharata and Rama when Bharata came to Rama in the forest to take him back to Ayodhya. Bharata wanted to go to exile for 14 years in Rama's place and requested Rama to sit on the throne to rule the kingdom. At last, he had to obey Rama's advice and took his wooden sleeper to put on the throne and rule the kingdom as a subordinate. So this kind of sacrifice we find in Bharata's character, as well as ultimately Bharata's tremendous urges was defeated by Rama's love and brotherly attitude. It was not order, but it is a love. If we go through that portion of Valmiki Ramayana, we find that both were hugging each other and were crying and crying and crying. There were a lot of arguments though, but those arguments were not to occupy the throne, but to sacrifice the throne. And lastly, Rama could be able to convince Bharata by love and said that what kings do, the subjects would follow that. Had Rama not been kept father's promise, means disobeying the truth, the subjects also do not follow the truth. Thus Rama was the follower of truth. Always, throughout Ramayana, Rama was the example of manifesting the truth. When Lakshmana was severely hurt in the battle by Indrajit, Ravana's son, and became unconscious, Rama was distraught. Hanumana was tasked with making every effort to ensure that Lakshmana's life be preserved. Rama was extremely emotional and eagerly waiting for the medicinal plant fetching by Hanuman. Rama could not live even a minute without Lakshmana by his side. He would not eat without Lakshmana giving him company. Rama hence demonstrated the ideal of unity and coexistence to the world. In the Vedas also, there is a verse that aptly describes the idealism. All these show that Rama was an ideal brother. The four brothers displayed such a unity among themselves. And at one point of time, Rama said to Lakshmana that for you, I can renounce everything, even this world. Then he was ideal husband. There are various reasons for why we should adore Ramachandra, that I shall take, because Ramachandra was the ideal character in Ramayana. But Swami Vivekananda advocated Sita Devi also. Sita Devi was the ideal of women character in this world. So he was the ideal husband. We know this is a very sensitive criticism against him, is that why he sent Sita Devi in exile for 2 times. Why he put Sita Devi in the test for 2 times. And always he did that. It is a kind of criticism against him. But let us think. We may criticize Ramachandra there. Even Valmiki also criticized Ramachandra in that point. But let us think from the point of view of king. We always think from the point of view of husband. Husband, Ramachandra as a husband. But if we think from the point of view of king, husband is a personal relation. So from the point of view of king, he did the correct thing, because he did not want to keep any kind of doubt regarding Sita Devi in anybody's heart among his pupil. So he himself did not have any kind of doubt for Sita Devi, but he was a king. He must establish some kind of instances that give some message to his pupil. And that he did. Because at that period of time, the people were very reserved about the women character, and he always focused on that particular point, that not a single subject, as a king, not a single subject or his pupil have any kind of doubt regarding Sita Devi. Actually, if we think in this way, that by doing this, he actually elevated the respect of women and the respect of Sita Devi. In personal level, as a husband, it may be little bit harsh, or it little bit hard, but he sacrificed his love and his affinity with Sita Devi. And so he actually played the role of a king than the husband. And ultimately he suffered also. It is not that he exiled Sita Devi and he was happy. He exactly followed the routine and he completely engaged for the welfare of the people of that kingdom. So he did not have any other engagement, or he did not have any other entertainment except to take care of his people. So he completely engaged and devoted his life for that. So he was the ideal husband, and obviously he was the ideal king. He did not rule the subject but ruled their heart. Sent wife on exile because to satisfy the subjects. He did not enjoy life, just lived like Sita Devi on exile and served his subject. So let us see what was the other characteristics in Rama. So first, upholding dharma. Always followed the path of dharma or the righteousness and adhered his duty. He exemplified the qualities of honor, truthfulness, and moral conduct. Second, unwavering devotion. Rama's devotion to his parents, mothers, and others symbolizes his commitment and sense of duty. I have already explained the ideal husband. He had the marital devotion and loyalty, love, trust, leadership power. He had the leadership power and he trusts everybody. Companion and kindness. His interaction with others depicts the kind of kindness, showed empathy even to the enemies. I shall give one example that how much he was empathetic towards the enemies. And at the same time, how much he was a democrat and his leadership qualities. In one example, you can find all the characteristics I shall give you. Then self-discipline and self-sacrifice. Willfully gives up the rightful claim to the throne and accept the life of exile. So it is kind of self-sacrifice and selfless devotion to the higher ideal, that is truth, and self-sacrifice for the pupils. Devotion to the God, his devotion to the sage, Saguna, both Saguna and Nirguna. In Valmiki Ramayana, we find that his devotion to God, both Saguna and Nirguna, was amazing. His action, decision are gained by his faith and the commitment to divine purpose. And his humanly qualities, if we see his humanly qualities, he never spoke lies or foul languages even in the worst situation. So these all are the characteristics of a perfect, honorable man, Maryada Purushottama. He did not think about any other women. A kind of unconditional love he had towards Sita Devi. He never remembered what he gave others. He never thought about his greatness. So humble he was. If someone did everything evil but one good, then he spoke about that goodness of that person. He was the well-wisher of every creature of the world. The principle of his life was to save anyone as if it were Ravana who seeks refuge to him. And that is what I am going to tell you. You know, when Vibhishana was the good aspect in good person in Ravana's family. And when he found that Vibhishana and Ravana found that, because Vibhishana repeatedly advised and suggested Ravana to send Sita Devi to Ramachandra. But Ravana was determined and became very angry with Vibhishana and kicked out Vibhishana from this country. So Vibhishana came and he joined where the righteousness belonged. So he joined in Ramachandra's camp. So Vibhishana was Rakshasa, Vibhishana was the demon, and he came. So everyone in Ramachandra's camp was a little bit doubtful that Vibhishana might be the spy, came in because you know the devils, the Rakshasa, they could take any kind of form. So they thought that it is a kind of illusion and they are actually disguising and they are spying. They came here for spying. But Ramachandra was the great leader and great democrat. So what he did, he called everyone and asked individually that whether he would take Vibhishana in his camp or what he would do with Vibhishana. So different monkeys and Hanumans and all others, including Lakshmana, they gave their opinion, and some are kill Vibhishana, and some are okay, you can arrest Vibhishana and keep it in the jail. So in this way different kinds of opinion came. Then lastly, and from here we can find the outlook and characteristics of Ramachandra. So lastly, he told, so first as a leader, he took everybody's opinion. Secondly, he called as a democratic way, he called everybody. And then lastly, he gave his opinion and ratified it from everybody. So he told, you see, Vibhishana came here His apparent version is this: he came here to take refuge, to take shelter. So he is requesting to take shelter and to take refuge. So, it is my duty, whether he is spy, whether he is demon, or whatever may be the reason, if anybody comes here for taking refuge, it is my duty to give him the refuge. Whether it is Ravana, even if it is a killer, it is a demon, it is a evil, and even if it is Ravana, it is my duty to give him shelter. So from this kind of attitude, we can easily understand that how much love, responsibility, empathy, reason, leadership power, devotion to the dharma the Ramachandra had. So this is the Ramachandra, who is the main character. But we must not, all the minor characters in Ramayana is also very important, because through minor characters we can understand the major characters. By the interactions of the minor characters, we can find the glory of major characters. So all the minor characters are also worth mentioning. The Hanuman and Sita Devi. Swami Vivekananda specifically glorified Sita Devi, and he gave different lectures on Sita Devi, depicting the ideal character of woman. So, and on this he gave different points. His Sita Devi's devotion to his husband, to her husband. Next, her forbearance. That was a great aspect. Her forbearance, her courage, her tremendous courage, her faith, one-pointed devotion, because Ravana could not touch her. Ravana was a terrible demon, and he did not have that courage to touch Sita Devi. So that much tremendous personality Sita Devi had. So, but at the same time, the devotion, the forbearance she had. She sacrificed everything for Ramachandra. And then Hanumana. Hanumana also, in Indian mythology or Indian scriptures, especially the mythological Puranas, it is said that the avatara, the incarnation, they come again and again. The same divine power assumes human form and is born like a human being when there is the degeneration of the righteousness, when there is a degeneration of dharma, when there is any declination of dharma and rise of adharma, then the incarnation, they take birth as a human being. So if it is true, then Ramachandra came as Sri Krishna, and it was known by Hanumana. Hanumana was the depiction of bhakti, devotion, a tremendous devotion to God, unparalleled devotion. And Hanuman also knew it, and Hanuman also wanted to come to that divine power, but he did not. He said that I want to see this divine incarnation as Rama. That was his stand. So he did not come with Sri Krishna, it is said, that because he wanted to see Ramachandra. Even in the beginning of this Ramayana hymn, it is said that although we know this Rama and Sita are one, but still we want to see Ramachandra as Ramachandra. Srinathe Janaki Nathe Abhedo. They are Abhedo, we know that. Tathapi Mama Sarvasya Rama Kamalalochana. So we know Srinath and Janakinath. So Rama and Sita. Abhedo Paramatmani. They are Abhedo and they are Paramatma. We know that. Tathapi Mama Sarvasya Rama Kamalalochana. Even though Rama is my everything. Mama Sarvasya. My everything. Mama means my. Sarvasya means everything. Tathapi Mama Sarvasya Rama Kamalalochana. So although we know that they are Abheda and they are Paramatmana, but still Rama is my Mama Sarvasya. Rama is everything for me. That is the stand of Hanumana. And it is said, Yatra Yatra Rama Nama Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamhastakanjalim. Wherever there is any name of Ramachandra, there we find the presence of Hanumana. So devotional. So Lakshmana said, you see, I renounced everything for Ramachandra. But why? The people, they say that Hanumana is the highest devotional character. I renounced everything for Ramachandra, but they never said that I am the best devotee of Ramachandra. Lakshmana asked this thing to Hanumana, and then Hanumana replied, do you know why? It is because Ramachandra is in my every hair of my body. Mera rom rom me Ram. So that is why everybody, not in my heart, maybe in your heart is full of Ramachandra, but in my heart, in my mind, in every hair of my body is only Ramachandra. None is there. So that's why it is said that Hanuman is the great devotee of Ramachandra. And Swami Vivekananda actually emphasized this Ramayana very much, because it is the first lesson of religion and devotion and the spirituality. It is the first lesson of spirituality. And everyone, those who are born and brought up in India, we know that they have this kind of idea of Ramayana. That is their first lesson towards spirituality. And it should be, but now probably it is changing, the situation is changing, but Swamiji emphasized it. And he said that from Ramayana, some small books we could write for the children. And it is written, and small episode also written there, for the moral teachings, for bringing out, or for to keep the truth, the power of truth in front of everybody. That is also another aspect of Ramayana. Do you have any question? Yes, please.
So Hanuman saw Rama as God. Is that correct? I mean, at the beginning of your lecture, you mentioned that.
Actually, in Valmiki Ramayana, I have already mentioned, the Valmiki Ramayana, Hanuman is Assyrian. So the whole episode is between the Aryan and Assyrian. So the Aryan, they conquered the Assyrians. So the southern part of India, the Assyrian, they lived in the southern part of India. And northern part and middle part, the Assyrians, they live, it is said, this Aryan, they lived. So it is that kind of conquerance. But Krittivas Ramayana, and especially the Tulsidas Ramayana, Ramcharitmanasa, Hanuman is completely the devotional character. And Tulsidas actually composed separately the Hanuman Chalisa. That is fully devotional thing. So in Krittivas Ramayana and all other Ramayanas, I would say, except Valmiki Ramayana, Ramachandra is God to Hanumana, no doubt about that.
I was just wondering if there's, in the Valmiki Ramayana, if the reader realizes that Rama is God through Hanuman.
No, in Valmiki Ramayana, Hanuman is a respected Ramachandra, and definitely the supreme being he, but not as a god. It was never written there that Hanuman sees Ramachandra, definitely a superman, but not as a god.
So his devotion is to a Superman.
Yes, definitely. His Ramachandra's characters and Ramachandra's glory is almost similar to God. But in few places, Valmiki criticizes Ramachandra also. Yes.
Swami, can you explain to me how Hanuman that is ours?
Oh, Hanuman is a Pavanaputra. These are mythological character, you know. So Hanuman is a Pavanaputra, the son of wind. Wind is very powerful, and he is the avatar of Lord Shiva, it is said that. He is the avatar of Lord Shiva. So that's why he was very powerful, and he got the different boons from his childhood. So that is why he got. And when he was a child, he was so powerful that he wanted to swallow the sun. And he went there and he actually swallowed the sun. But then immediately God said, don't do it. That is why his face was burnt. Yes. Who? Oh, well. Yeah, Pavanaputra is, it is very difficult to answer. It depends upon belief, Definitely everybody lives, what our concept of living and dying is little bit shallow. Our concept, the Vedantic concept of living and dying is all shallow. And these are mythological characters. So, if we believe, yes, Hanuman lives. He lives. So it depends upon our belief. Yes.
You said that these different roles, he was the perfect son, a husband, father, all of these things. He was perfect in all of these. Do each of these ideals have a dharma, and do those dharmas ever come in conflict? So how would he choose to do the dharma of a son as opposed to the dharma of a father if they conflicted?
Well, it is not at all a conflict, actually, So that's what very efficiently Ramachandra, mutually resolved the conflict. That is one point. So the only one thing is that regarding Sita Devi, and we think that in which perspective we should look it. So the period at that time, in different books I found that Ramachandra was perfectly based on truth. But if we see the characteristics of and the action of Sri Krishna, we find there is some trick, some kind of tact, some kind of, politics is there in Sri Krishna's activity and character. Although the mythological book gave the justification, always there is a backup righteous justification. But still, if we go as a story, we find that Sri Krishna played some trick, in the battle of Kurukshetra. So, because it is a passage of time, Ramayana is way older than Mahabharata. So, Rama depicted, it is in the Treta, it is in the Silver Age, Ramachandra. And Sri Krishna was in the Bronze Age. So, the difference of social pattern, everything was there. So, he resolved it. So, at that time, definitely as a king, he thought that a number, again, in morality, in ethics, we find that maximum number of people benefited, and he found that his benefit or Sita Devi's benefit is lesser than his subordinate subjects or the pupils' benefit. So he adopted that one. And actually he glorified Sita Devi in this way. Yes, please.
Maharaj, there's another scripture that deals with the life of Rama, Yoga Vastishtha.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could compare and contrast the Ramayana and the Yoga Vastishtha. Why do we need two scriptures about the
No, it is two scriptures in everywhere. in some epic, you can find these two scriptures everywhere. From Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita came out. Okay, so this is the section, a particular section, a dialogue between one-to-one, two persons, and these are the essence of the whole scripture. So what is in Vasishtha, Yoga Vasishtha? In Yoga Vasishtha, Vasishtha is giving the lesson. So one-to-one teaching, and it is completely based on Advaita. So Yoga Vasishtha is completely based on Advaita philosophy. But if you go through Ramayana, it is Dvaita and Advaita both. So it has a Dvaita concept of this, dualism is there. So that's why the essence, the main part, or I would say the essence of Ramayana, which is Advaita, which is non-dual, they took up and made another book for that. In Mahabharata also. So they took out the Bhagavad Gita, the essence, where there is the essence of Upanishads are there, they took out and made another things, a Bhagavad Gita. So this kind of small Gitas are all there, minor Gitas. Vyasa Gita, Vyadha Gita, there are different Gitas are there. And these are only one-to-one teaching on particular philosophy.
The essence?
Yeah, it is the essence. Okay. Thank you. This is a kind of, huge epic, and there is the difference of opinion among the scholars also. So that is the history. In India, we do not find history year to year. The Indians are not very efficient to record the dates, the numbers. They were interested to draw the picture of the social system and all other things. They are very careless about giving the dates. Unlike Western scholars. So there is no actual history in India because of this reason, and because of it is very old religion, so that's why also. So Ramayana, Mahabharata, history at the same time, that is an epic, that is a religious book, mythology. But few scholars, as for example that Ludgendorff, he is not ready to accept that Ramayana is history. He says it is a devotional book, it has its own flavor. The Ramcharitmanas it has its own flavor. So by looking it from the point of view of history, we are actually diminishing the flavor and beauty of Ramayana. So that is his view. He says that even he went into that extent that he said that it is a kind of history, is a kind of Rakshasa, Because it is pouncing on this and is killing the beauty of Ramayana. So it depends, among these scholars. So what they think and how they explain it about the views. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkham apnuat, sarvastarotu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva sadbuddhim apnotu, sarva sarvatra nandatu, Durjana sajjano bhuyat sajjana shantimapnuat shantamucchete bandhebhyo muktasyannyan vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied, for He being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. So, few announcements. Next Sunday, 21st, we do not have Sunday lecture. But the following Sunday, 28th, we will have the Sunday lecture. And then in May, actually, we will have a guest Swami, especially on 12th May, we will have a special lecture by a guest Swami, Swami Tagorupananda Ji Maharaj. He is coming from India, so he will be giving the lecture on 12th May, Sunday lecture. Swami Tagorupananda, he is coming from India. He is a very good orator. As usual, tea, coffee will be served.